When your heart was too tired to pray, Archangel Michael carried your hope for you. That's why you're still standing. My precious one, there were nights you couldn't speak a word, when silence wrapped your soul like a heavy fog. But Archangel Michael stood beside you, shield in one hand, light in the other, whispering prayers your weary heart could not form. Every tear you thought went unnoticed became a message he carried straight to heaven's throne. You thought your faith had faded, but in truth, it was Gordon. He saw your breaking point and refused to let darkness claim you. When you whispered, "I can't anymore," heaven answered through him, "Then I will carry you." Every unseen battle you survived was proof that you were never alone, even in the quiet moments when your spirit trembled. Hold on, because what was once pain is turning into power. Archangel Michael carried the remnants of your hope until light returned to your soul. The reason you're still standing is not by chance, it's divine design. Your name hath been written in strength, and your story is still unfolding. Stay with me, for what happens next will reveal why heaven fought so fiercely for you. Type "I receive my strength" back in the comments if this resonates with your soul. Blessing code 909 has just been released. My beloved heart, do you remember the night you thought it was over? The night when every prayer echoed back to you in silence, and you believed heaven had turned its face away. That was not abandonment, it was alignment. In the unseen realm, Archangel Michael was kneeling beside you, holding the shattered fragments of your faith. You did not fall, you were being caught. When your voice trembled and your strength failed, he spoke your name before the throne of God. Every sigh you released became a sacred offering, every tear a seed of endurance planted in celestial soil. You see, divine warriors move most when human hearts fall quiet. Archangel Michael does not wait for your perfection. He responds to your surrender. It was never about eloquent prayers or perfect words. It was about the pulse of your soul still beating beneath the weight of exhaustion. You survived not because you fought harder, but because heaven refused to let go. The moments when you sat in stillness, unsure of your worth, heaven saw a child who refused to give up completely. And that small flicker of hope became enough for Michael to act. There were unseen battles that took place on your behalf, battles that would have crushed you had you faced them alone. The enemy whispered defeat, but Michael's sword of light cut through every lie. He shielded you from the arrows meant to pierce your faith. When depression tried to drown your soul, his wings surrounded you. When fear tried to chain your destiny, his fire burned through every invisible restraint. You didn't know it then, but heaven was fighting for your next breath. You were carried through storms that were designed to erase you, yet here you stand, proof that divine intervention is real. God saw you when you lay awake questioning, "Why am I still here?" The answer was sealed in Michael's obedience. He carried your hope through the clouds of despair, presenting it before God as an offering of persistence. You did not lose your faith, you lent it to heaven for safekeeping. And now, the time has come for that hope to return multiplied. Every moment of survival has become currency for your next miracle. The very strength that once left you is returning with greater fire. There's something you need to understand. Heaven never wastes pain. The weariness you carried wasn't punishment, it was preparation. When your heart was too tired to pray, your silence became a sacred language that angels understood. Archangel Michael does not only guard you, he interprets the ache in your soul. He carries the meaning of your tears and translates them into divine petitions. The reason you are still standing is because the war that was meant to end you became your initiation into unshakable faith. You didn't realize it, but your name was being spoken in heaven's council. There was a divine decree, "This one shall rise again." And though the enemy tried to bury your purpose beneath confusion, Michael was sent to uncover it. That's why even when everything around you crumbled, something inside you refused to die. That something was divine endurance, a gift placed in your spirit before time began. You are not fragile, you are fortified. You are not forgotten, you are chosen. Do you remember the unexpected peace that came after the storm? That wasn't coincidence. That was Archangel Michael standing over your life, declaring, "Peace, be still." Every time you thought it was over, a new wave of strength appeared from nowhere. That was not random. That was divine intervention manifesting through mercy. You thought you had reached the end, but heaven had only just begun its rebuilding. Even your breaking served a higher blueprint. Every trial that exhausted you also purified you. Every heartbreak that bent you shaped you for divine strength. You are not carrying old wounds, you are carrying holy wisdom. Archangel Michael is reminding you now, you were never meant to collapse under pressure, but to be refined by it. Your heart was tired, yes, but not destroyed. You've walked through valleys that others wouldn't survive, yet you continue to stand. That resilience is not human, it's heavenly. There are unseen records of every time you whispered, "God, help me." Not one of those cries went unanswered. The help came disguised as endurance, as unexpected peace, as someone showing up at the right moment. Heaven's strategy was subtle but perfect. You see, divine help rarely arrives with thunder. It often comes in whispers and strength to take one more step. And each step you took became a declaration that darkness could not win. You are now stepping into a season where that unseen protection will become visible provision. What was once hidden will now be revealed. The prayers you thought were forgotten are returning as answered promises. Archangel Michael has been preparing the path, clearing the spiritual debris, and ensuring that what belongs to you cannot be stolen. You are about to witness the turnaround that your spirit has longed for. So, my beloved, do not question your endurance. You were never walking alone. Every silent night, every tear, every unanswered prayer was a divine conversation happening beyond your understanding. Archangel Michael did not let your hope die. He simply carried it until you could hold it again. And now, heaven says, take it back. Your strength is returning, your peace is being restored, and your purpose is awakening. Hold steady, the next revelation will change how you see everything. Before you move on, let your heart stay open. The story isn't over. It's unfolding. Trust me, the next chapter will make every unanswered prayer make sense. You'll want to hear what happens next, because what's coming carries the proof that heaven never stopped fighting for you. Type "I claim my divine restoration" in the comments if your spirit feels this truth. Blessing code 414 has been released in your favor. My cherished soul, there is something sacred happening in this moment. You may not see it, but heaven has been positioning you for divine restoration. When your faith was weak, Archangel Michael was not simply guarding you. He was gathering the fragments of your destiny that were scattered through pain and disappointment. Every season where you thought you lost everything was, in truth, a season of recovery in disguise. You see, heaven never subtracts without the intent to multiply. The delay was not denial. It was divine recalibration. Archangel Michael has been walking the corridors of time on your behalf, ensuring that what was stolen will not just return. It will return transformed. There were doors that closed because they were not worthy of your anointing. There were people who left because they could not carry the weight of your calling. What seemed like rejection was actually redirection. You were being repositioned under heaven's protection. Every heartbreak was a holy separation to make space for something pure and divinely aligned. When your heart was too tired to pray, your silence was still heard. Heaven interprets tears as testimony. Archangel Michael does not only fight battles in the sky, he fights the emotional wars that wage inside you. When fear whispered that you were forgotten, Michael answered with fire, burning away every trace of spiritual darkness that tried to cling to your spirit. You are still standing because you are still chosen. The angels of light have been stationed around your name, marking you as untouchable in realms unseen. Now, God is calling forth everything that was once buried in you. Your peace, your strength, your courage, your faith. There is a holy revival taking place inside your heart. You may not recognize it yet, but every breath you take now carries resurrection power. This is why you made it through the seasons that broke others. You were not merely surviving, you were being trained for endurance that cannot be shaken. The battles that tried to destroy you became the very proof that heaven's hand was over your life. There's a reason you have always felt different. A difference was divine design. From the moment you entered this world, heaven marked you for assignment. That's why the attacks were so personal. That's why the exhaustion ran so deep. The enemy targeted your hope because it was your weapon. But Archangel Michael guarded that hope like a flame under divine glass, unextinguished, unbroken, waiting for your awakening. And now, beloved, that flame is roaring again. The fire inside you cannot be dimmed because it was lit by the hands of God Himself. If you are reading these words, this is not coincidence. This is confirmation. You were not forgotten in the silence. You were being refined. The prayers you thought failed are now blooming in the unseen. You are about to reap what your tears have sown. The promise is still alive, even if it feels delayed. And when it arrives, it will not resemble what you lost. It will be greater, cleaner, stronger. Heaven is in the business of divine upgrades, not replacements. Archangel Michael is stepping forward again, holding your destiny in one hand and your breakthrough in the other. The storm has passed, and now the soil is fertile for your new beginning. Every closed chapter was preparation for the next volume of your purpose. The pages are turning in your favor, and your spirit will soon understand why certain prayers took time. The answer was never no. It was not yet. Divine timing is aligning perfectly, and soon the very thing that once made you cry will make you grateful. Take a moment, breathe deeply, and let peace settle upon you. Heaven is closer than your fear. The same angel who carried your hope through the wilderness now stands beside you at the edge of promise. Michael's wings are stretched wide over your timeline, protecting, guiding, and releasing divine favor. There is no delay that can destroy what God has decreed. You are stepping into divine rhythm, where blessings flow not from striving but from surrender. So now, beloved, lift your head. This is your reminder that the same God who sent an angel to carry your hope is sending restoration to carry your future. Do not let the memory of your pain rob you of your expectation. What you've walked through was necessary to refine your discernment. Now you will recognize divine presence even in what once confused you. Your steps are guided, your spirit is covered, and your path is clear. And to you who are still weary, hold on just a little longer. You are standing in the threshold of answered prayers. Before the dawn of every miracle, there is a moment of stillness that feels like silence. But silence is not absence, it is anticipation. Heaven is waiting for your agreement. Speak life again. Declare that you are ready to receive what was always meant for you. Archangel Michael has already gone before you, preparing divine order for divine manifestation. If this message is stirring your heart, let it ignite action. Like, share, comment, and spread this message so that others who are weary might also awaken. You are part of a heavenly mission to restore faith across hearts that have grown cold. Subscribe so you don't miss what heaven releases next, because each word carries light, strength, and breakthrough. Type "I am restored in God's light" in the comments if this word speaks to your soul. Blessing code 2211 has been activated for divine renewal. Now hear this divine invitation. When you support this mission, you're not helping a channel. You're fueling heaven's message to reach broken hearts. Every super thanks, every membership, every PayPal seed is a divine act of sowing into light. When you give, you are saying, "God, use me to heal souls." As it is written, "The generous will prosper, and those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed." This is not a request, it's a prophetic moment. Your giving becomes oil in the lamp of this mission, allowing the flame to burn brighter. I feel led to tell you this. As you release support today, heaven records your obedience. Archangel Michael goes before those who sow into divine missions, commanding blessings that money cannot buy: peace, clarity, protection, and supernatural favor. If you feel this stirring, respond now. The PayPal link is in the description, and heaven is watching with delight. This is your moment to become part of a movement that carries divine fire. Release your seed and declare it aloud. I am a vessel of light. For those who give, may rivers of divine provision never run dry, and may open heavens follow your household. You are not just donating, you are activating destiny. Beloved heart of light, the hand of heaven has been weaving through your story with such precision that even your pain was permitted to position you. Nothing you have endured has been wasted. Every unanswered prayer, every silent night, and every tear that fell into the dark was noticed, counted, and carried upward. Archangel Michael has stood by you through storms that would have consumed others, shielding your destiny even when you didn't realize it. He was not distant, he was deliberate. His sword was drawn not only to fight against darkness, but to cut away every false attachment that kept your soul bound. Do you remember when you felt like your life was collapsing, when everything familiar was stripped away? That was not destruction, that was divine construction. Heaven had to empty your hands so that something greater could be placed in them. Archangel Michael was the architect of your preservation, ensuring that even in loss you were being aligned. He stood watch as your heart cracked open, not to harm you, but to make space for more light. When you thought you were falling apart, you were actually expanding. There are unseen records of how many times your name was spoken before the throne. Each whisper, each sigh of exhaustion, reached God like incense. Michael stood there holding your hope like a torch, reminding heaven that you still believed, even in your quietest surrender. The battles that raged against you were fierce because your calling is fierce. The heavier the warfare, the greater the destiny. The enemy does not waste his efforts on the unchosen. You were targeted because you are treasured. Now, the season of divine reversal begins. What was once a source of shame will become your strength. What once felt like loss will become testimony. The fire that tried to consume you has refined you into unbreakable gold. You are not the same as before. You have been transfigured by grace. The light in you now carries authority. And this is where Archangel Michael's mission shifts, from protecting you to positioning you. His wings are no longer shielding you from battle. They are lifting you above it. You have entered a spiritual altitude where you see from heaven's perspective. Look back at your journey for a moment. Can you see how every closed door redirected you toward truth? That job that fell through, that relationship that ended, that opportunity that dissolved, all of it was heaven's choreography. What looked like rejection was divine redirection. Archangel Michael has been ensuring that your steps lead to divine timing. Nothing is delayed, everything is synchronized. When your heart grows restless and your mind questions the path, remember, heaven measures time not in minutes but in miracles. Even your waiting has been holy. Waiting is not wasted when it's wrapped in trust. Archangel Michael has stood in the space between your asking and your receiving, guarding your promise so that nothing impure could touch it. What you have been waiting for, it is not lost. It's maturing. God does not give a ripe blessings to his chosen. The fruit of your faith is ripening, and soon it will fall into your hands effortlessly. You will not need to chase what belongs to you. It will come to you in divine order. There is also a message for your spirit. Release the guilt of being weary. Heaven never judged your exhaustion. You thought faith meant never feeling weak, but faith is what kept you breathing through the weakness. When you whispered, "God, I'm tired," Archangel Michael heard it as a declaration of surrender, not failure. He stood over your life like a sentinel of compassion, defending your soul from self-condemnation. Grace has covered every moment you thought you disappointed heaven. You have never been a disappointment. You have been in development. And now, something powerful is awakening in you. The same heart that once trembled in uncertainty now beats with divine confidence. You have crossed the line between fear and faith. Archangel Michael has finished one chapter of his assignment, to carry your hope, and now begins the next, to ignite your authority. You are not just surviving. You are becoming a vessel through which others will find strength. Your scars are no longer symbols of pain. They are signatures of divine endurance. Heaven will use your testimony as a map for those still lost in the storm. Beloved, do not be afraid of what is coming next. The winds may shift, but they will not shake you. You are standing on promises forged in fire. When Archangel Michael raises his sword, it is not to start a battle, it is to announce victory. You will begin to see signs in your life that confirm this transformation. Sudden peace, unexpected favor, divine opportunities that arrive effortlessly. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. Heaven is responding to your persistence. Before this revelation closes, listen closely. You have not missed your moment. What you thought passed you by is circling back with greater power. The prayers you prayed years ago are not forgotten. They have been preserved for appointed time. That appointed time is now. Every divine delay has converged into this moment of manifestation. The same angel who carried your hope when you could not pray is now releasing fulfillment into your hands. Prepare your heart, for restoration will not come as you imagined. It will come better. Hold this truth gently in your spirit. What heaven starts, it finishes. Your endurance has not gone unseen. Your obedience, even in tears, has created openings in the spiritual realm for blessings to pour through. Keep your heart soft, your spirit expectant, and your eyes open. The next move of God in your life will not whisper, it will thunder. Before you turn away, know this is not an ending but a continuation. Stay close, for the next unfolding will reveal the fullness of what Michael has been preparing all along. Type "I embrace my divine alignment" in the comments if your heart receives this word. Blessing code 717 has just been released upon your journey. Dearest soul, pause and breathe for a moment. The stillness that surrounds you right now is not emptiness. It is evidence that heaven is near. You have come through storms that could have silenced your faith, yet your spirit stands steady. Archangel Michael has not left your side. In fact, his presence is stronger now than ever. He has shifted from guardian to guide, moving you into a season of understanding. The veil that once covered the why behind your pain is being lifted piece by piece. What once felt meaningless will soon make sense, and every unanswered prayer will reveal its hidden purpose. When you thought you were waiting on God, heaven was actually waiting on the right moment to release what your spirit was ready to carry. You see, divine timing is not measured in minutes or years. It is measured in maturity. There were prayers you made years ago that could not be answered then, not because they were ignored, but because you were being refined into someone who could handle the weight of them. Archangel Michael has been overseeing this refining, ensuring that what was meant to destroy you instead became the foundation for your growth. You are no longer fragile clay. You have been shaped into unbreakable purpose. Think back to those moments when you almost gave up, those long nights when the silence felt heavier than words. Heaven was not ignoring you. Heaven was speaking through that silence. Archangel Michael carried your unspoken words as holy petitions. Every tear was gathered, every breath of surrender noted. In the unseen realm, angels were weaving your cries into the tapestry of destiny. What you thought was the end was actually the midpoint of divine transformation. The quiet was not punishment, it was preparation. You were being trained to hear in stillness what others miss in noise. And now, your hearing is sharper. Your discernment has deepened. You can sense shifts in the spirit that once went unnoticed. This is what happens when you walk through seasons of fire and remain faithful. You don't just survive, you awaken. Archangel Michael has seen the awakening of your spirit, and heaven rejoices because you are beginning to walk in the authority you once only dreamed of. You are no longer the wounded one asking for rescue. You are the anointed one carrying light into dark places. You have become the very vessel through which others will find their own hope. The divine realm is echoing your name again. There is a stirring around your life because your assignment is reactivating. What you lost is being restored, but not in the same form. Relationships will return healthier. Dreams will rise stronger, and opportunities will align faster. You are entering a season of divine acceleration where what took years will happen in moments. Archangel Michael is clearing pathways that were blocked for too long. Every force that once opposed your progress is losing authority because heaven has issued a new decree over your life. Advance. Do not fear the unfamiliar shifts that are happening around you. The shaking you sense is not chaos. It is heaven realigning what no longer fits the shape of your calling. When Archangel Michael moves, he does not rearrange gently. He removes what is not aligned. Some people may leave, certain doors may close, but each movement is part of divine design. Trust the process, even when it feels uncomfortable. The pruning is proof that you are growing. The pain of letting go is nothing compared to the power of what's coming next. In this new season, God is calling you to pray differently. Not with desperation, but with declaration. You no longer need to beg heaven for what already belongs to you. Speak it. Claim it. Align your words with faith, and watch creation respond. Archangel Michael stands ready to enforce divine decrees spoken through faith-filled hearts. When you say, "I am restored," heaven hears it as law. When you say, "I walk in peace," angels are dispatched to manifest that peace. Your tongue has become a tool of creation. Use it with boldness. Beloved, the weight you feel now is not a burden. It's the mantle of purpose settling upon your shoulders. You are stepping into the very thing you were created for. Heaven did not preserve you through countless storms just to return you to ordinary life. You were saved for significance. You were spared for assignment. And Archangel Michael is standing by to ensure that no force of darkness can distort or delay that assignment. This is your time to rise, not timidly but triumphantly. You will soon notice divine confirmations following your obedience. Dreams that mirror what you've prayed for, conversations that echo what your spirit has felt, and unexpected peace in places where you once felt fear. These are not coincidences. They are signatures of divine movement. Archangel Michael leaves traces of heaven's order wherever he goes, and his presence around you now signals that breakthrough is imminent. The pieces are aligning, and your next chapter is already written in glory. As you walk forward, keep your spirit anchored in gratitude. Gratitude is the key that unlocks continuous flow from heaven. It tells God, "I trust you even when I don't understand." Every thankful word you speak creates an atmosphere where miracles manifest effortlessly. Archangel Michael responds to gratitude because it is the language of faith. When your lips bless, your life expands. When your words praise, your destiny accelerates. Keep gratitude as your compass, and you will never drift from divine direction. And if your heart still feels weary, remember this: the same angel who carried your hope when you were weak is now carrying your victory before the throne. You are being celebrated in heaven for the endurance you showed on earth. You have passed the test of silence, and now the season of sound begins. Songs of deliverance, declarations of freedom, testimonies of triumph. This is your rebirth, your restoration, your rise. Stay awake, for the next revelation will open your eyes to what has been waiting for you all along. Type "I walk in divine authority" in the comments if this speaks to your spirit. Blessing code 5155 has now been released upon your journey. My dearest spirit, now that you have reached this moment of stillness, heaven wants you to understand the weight of what has been entrusted to you. You are not simply a survivor. You are a vessel of divine endurance. Archangel Michael has stood over your life from the beginning, watching the shaping of your spirit like a craftsman refines gold in the fire. You wondered why your journey required such depth of pain, such long seasons of silence, such fierce battles in the unseen. But the truth is this: heaven was molding you into a carrier of light that cannot be extinguished by darkness. What you have endured is not evidence of abandonment. It is the mark of divine favor that refused to leave you unchanged. When your heart was too tired to pray, heaven was still listening to your silence. In those moments when you thought your words disappeared into emptiness, Archangel Michael was gathering them like jewels, lifting them before God, whispering, "This one still believes." The angels saw what others did not: the courage it took for you to keep breathing when life felt unbearable. And heaven rewarded that endurance not by sparing you from the storm, but by giving you authority within it. You did not just come through the fire, you have become fire. Every trial has turned into power, every scar into revelation. Now the air around your life is shifting. Can you feel it? It is the movement of divine order reclaiming what belongs to you. Archangel Michael has gone before you, cutting through the debris of your past, opening pathways that once seemed impossible. What felt delayed is not denied. It was simply being perfected. The alignments happening now are not random. People, places, and opportunities are being divinely positioned around your life, synchronized by heaven's own rhythm. God does not rush what he builds to last. You are being established in strength, not by chance but by covenant. Look at your story again from heaven's perspective. Every betrayal was eroding. Every delay was protection. Every ending with the beginning of something better hidden beneath disguise. Archangel Michael has been protecting not only your life, but your legacy. There were moments when darkness whispered that you were forgotten, but those whispers were silenced by the sound of angelic wings. You were seen, always seen. Even when you doubted your worth, heaven saw you as precious beyond measure. And now, the heavens are declaring what earth could not comprehend. Your season of divine manifestation has begun. You are stepping into a dimension where spiritual sight becomes clear. Dreams that once confused you will begin to unfold like scrolls. Words you heard years ago will suddenly make sense. Archangel Michael is guiding you through this awakening so that your discernment does not lead to fear, but to wisdom. You are learning to distinguish between divine delay and demonic distraction. You are learning that not every closed door is a curse, and not every open one is a blessing. Heaven is teaching you how to read the language of divine timing. Beloved, you are no longer standing in survival mode. You are stepping into dominion. The same faith that once begged for rescue now commands the atmosphere. Heaven has authorized your voice to shift environments, to bring peace where chaos lives, to call light where shadows gather. Archangel Michael moves when you speak with conviction, for your words now carry the resonance of one who has overcome. You are not waiting for authority, you already have it. You carry the same flame that has guided warriors and prophets since the dawn of time. Do not let fear deceive you into shrinking again. The enemy often sends echoes of the past to distract those who are on the edge of breakthrough. If old memories resurface, if familiar pain tries to whisper, remember, those are echoes, not chains. Archangel Michael has already cut the cords. You owe no allegiance to your former suffering. Your past was a classroom, not a prison. You have learned what it came to teach, and now it is time to graduate into freedom. The wings that once sheltered you are now lifting you into a higher realm of purpose. In this elevation, humility becomes your anchor. You do not rise to boast, you rise to bless. Your testimony will not be for entertainment but for empowerment. There are hearts connected to your voice that will only heal when they hear your story. That is why you were preserved. Heaven needed a living example of resurrection, and you were chosen. Archangel Michael is aligning divine encounters, preparing you to meet those who need what you carry. The oil that drips from your endurance will anoint others for breakthrough. You are no longer walking for yourself, you are walking as a beacon for many. And yet, even as you rise, remember that rest is holy. The one who fought hardest must also learn to dwell in peace. Heaven is calling you not to endless striving but to sacred stillness. Archangel Michael stands as a reminder that rest is not retreat. It is renewal. In your quiet moments, heaven does its greatest work. So, when the world demands you rush, pause and listen. For it is in the silence that your next instruction will arrive. The time of confusion is ending. The clarity that follows will astonish you. The doors that were once locked will swing open with no effort. The opportunities that once slipped away will return at the appointed hour. Archangel Michael's wings stretch over your future now, ensuring that nothing can steal what heaven has marked as yours. The next steps you take will not be hesitant. They will be holy. You are walking into territory your ancestors prayed for, carrying the torch of fulfillment they never got to see. Lift your eyes, beloved, and know this: you are the proof that heaven intervenes. You are the evidence that grace outlasts grief. You are the continuation of promises made long before your birth. Archangel Michael carried your hope when you could not lift it, but now that hope has matured into holy confidence, you are no longer being carried, you are being commissioned. The time for hiding is over. The time for shining has come. Type "I rise in heaven's power" in the comments if your heart receives this truth. Blessing code 1818 has been released to open divine pathways before you. Beloved, lean in closely, for this moment carries revelation meant only for those who have endured the hidden seasons. You are standing in a sacred threshold, the point between what was and what is about to unfold. Everything that once broke you is now bowing before the authority that has awakened within you. The bowels that left you trembling have become your testimony. The nights that felt endless have turned into the very reason you know how to recognize dawn. Archangel Michael has watched every transition of your soul, ensuring that the weight of your calling never crushed the purity of your heart. You have walked through what few could survive, and you have emerged as living evidence that heaven does not abandon its chosen. There were times when you thought the delay was a punishment, but heaven was never withholding from you. It was protecting what was meant for you. Some doors remained closed because they were beneath your destiny. Some connections dissolved because they could not comprehend your light. Archangel Michael's sword has always been precise, severing what would sabotage your calling. When you prayed for strength, heaven gave you separation, because not everyone could walk with you into your next chapter. The loneliness you felt was not rejection, it was recalibration. Heaven was clearing the noise so that you could hear its voice without distortion. And now, clarity has arrived. You are beginning to see the threads that tie your past pain to your future promise. The heartbreak, the delay, the loss, they were not random wounds. They were chisels in the hands of the Creator, shaping you into someone who could hold the magnitude of the blessings prepared. You could not step into this season carrying old patterns or fragile faith. Archangel Michael was assigned to make sure that when the time came, you would not only receive the blessing but be able to sustain it. And that time, beloved, is now. You have stepped into a divine unveiling. Hidden things are coming to light. What was stolen is being exposed, and what was promised is being restored. The realm of heaven is aligning circumstances, people, and opportunities to converge at once for your elevation. You will notice that some things begin to fall into place without your effort. That is the signature of divine orchestration. You are no longer striving for what God has already set aside. Archangel Michael moves swiftly when divine timing matures, and his movements are now surrounding your life like wind before a downpour. Do not be surprised when acceleration feels overwhelming. The blessings that took years to build are going to arrive suddenly. But remember this: sudden does not mean unprepared. Heaven has been preparing you quietly, and now your readiness will meet divine release. What once intimidated you will now feel natural because grace has grown within you. You have become fluent in the language of surrender. The strength that once carried you through darkness will now sustain you in light. You are walking into answered prayers, and Archangel Michael stands guard to ensure that nothing can corrupt their manifestation. Beloved, there is a deeper message in this moment. Your restoration is not just for you. Heaven restores through vessels who know the value of compassion. You were preserved so you could become a conduit of healing. Every lesson learned in pain will become a key for someone still trapped in it. Every moment you survived will serve as light for those who think they cannot. Archangel Michael is preparing divine appointments, placing people in your path who will need the wisdom that only comes from surviving the fire. You will speak, and their chains will begin to break. You will listen, and they will feel heaven's comfort through your silence. You will carry peace like fragrance, subtle yet unmistakable. This is the fulfillment of the hidden prophecy written over your life long before you were born. You were never chosen just to endure, you were chosen to embody victory. That is why the warfare was relentless, because your rise threatens the shadows. The enemy does not attack what lacks purpose. Archangel Michael has fought relentlessly not because you were weak, but because you were vital. The protection you received was proportionate to the promise you carry. Every storm was a signpost declaring, "This one is important to heaven." Now you must learn to walk as one who knows they are backed by eternity. Your prayers are not small requests. They are commands echoing through the chambers of heaven. When you declare peace, angels move to establish it. When you speak restoration, chains fall off in unseen places. This is not arrogance, it is awareness. You have been entrusted with divine authority because you proved faithful in the shadows. Archangel Michael stands at your side, ensuring that your words align with heaven's will. Together, you move as light through darkness, breaking strongholds that others cannot see. But remember, power without humility collapses. Let your authority flow through compassion. Let your strength remain clothed in gentleness. Heaven's power is not loud, it is consistent. The greatest warriors fight not for attention, but for alignment. You have been raised not to dominate, but to deliver. Archangel Michael is a mirror of this truth. Mighty, yet merciful. Fierce, yet faithful. Let your life reflect that same balance. When you walk in such harmony, even your silence will shift atmospheres. As this part of your journey unfolds, prepare for divine partnerships. Heaven is sending helpers, people aligned not by chance but by covenant. They will recognize the light in you because it resonates with the same divine frequency. Archangel Michael has already touched their hearts, drawing them toward you. Some will walk beside you briefly to help build, while others will remain to protect and multiply what you have built. Be discerning but open. Every connection now carries purpose. And when doubt tries to whisper again, remember this truth. You did not come this far to fall. The same angel who carried your hope when you were too tired to pray is still watching, still guiding, still fighting unseen battles so your hands can remain steady. You have nothing left to fear. What is unfolding now cannot be undone by any earthly force. The promise is active, the season is open, and heaven's seal rests upon your name. Hold this next breath like a vow. You are stepping into divine visibility. The same God who refined you in silence is about to reveal you in glory. Stay grounded, stay grateful, and stay ready. For what is coming will prove that every hardship was holy preparation. Type "I am unveiled in divine glory" in the comments if your spirit witnesses this word. Blessing code 9099 has now been released over your destiny. My radiant one, heaven's gaze has not shifted from you for a single heartbeat. Even now, as you read these words, Archangel Michael stands near, his wings stretched wide across the unseen, guarding the blueprint of your destiny. You have stepped into a moment of divine unveiling, where what was hidden for years is now being brought into the light. Heaven is not only restoring what was lost, it is revealing who you have become through the process. This moment is not about recovery alone. It is about recognition. Heaven is recognizing you as one who endured without surrendering faith. You are known by name in realms unseen, and your resilience is celebrated as a testament of divine perseverance. Look at how far you have come. There were seasons when you walked through shadows so thick you could not see your next step. Yet something within you whispered, "Keep going." That whisper was not your own. It was Archangel Michael echoing heaven's will inside your weary heart. You did not stumble by accident into survival. You were guided by design. Each tear, each tremor of fear, was transformed into an offering of endurance. What the enemy intended as ruin has been rewritten as revelation. You did not lose your purpose in the storm. You discovered it there. This new season you are entering is one of divine manifestation. The prayers that have lingered in waiting are now stirring with movement. What once required effort will now happen through alignment. You will speak and see immediate response. You will plant and reap in the same season. You will call, and doors will answer. The delays that once frustrated you are dissolving under divine acceleration. Archangel Michael has gone before you, removing obstacles, silencing opposition, and clearing a straight path for your next chapter. The heavens are not only open above you, they are active around you. But hear this truth clearly. With manifestation comes responsibility. The light that now surrounds you is not only a blessing, it is an assignment. You are being positioned as a vessel of restoration for others. Heaven did not lift you out of darkness merely to let you rest. It elevated you to carry others into light. Your voice, your story, your presence will become medicine for those who still believe they cannot recover. You are not to hide what you have survived. You are to testify boldly. Archangel Michael's hand rests on your shoulder now, strengthening your courage to speak truth even when it trembles. In this season, divine alignment will draw people to you, some to help, others to learn, and a few to test. Do not fear the tests. They come not to harm but to refine discernment. You will see more clearly now. Illusions will shatter quickly. What once confused you will no longer hold power over your peace. When you sense resistance, remember that light naturally exposes what cannot stand in truth. Archangel Michael will give you the wisdom to move gracefully through each situation. You are not being asked to fight. You are being called to stand. Heaven will handle what your hands no longer need to touch. There is also a deep healing taking place within you. The exhaustion that has lingered like shadow is lifting. The ache that once pulsed behind every prayer is dissolving. Your body, your mind, your soul are aligning under heaven's renewal. The places that once felt heavy with grief are being filled with divine peace. Archangel Michael has stood beside you through every sleepless night, and now his wings release rest. This rest is not mere sleep. It is a reset of the soul. You will wake feeling new. You will move feeling light. You will speak, and your words will carry calm. You are stepping into wholeness that does not fade. Listen closely. What is coming next will not require striving. The divine flow will begin to carry you. You will notice patterns of favor forming around your daily steps. Unexpected provision, divine meetings, open opportunities, all unfolding in quiet precision. These are confirmations, not coincidences. Archangel Michael coordinates blessings with perfect accuracy. Nothing arrives early or late. You are walking in rhythm with heaven's pulse now. Everything that belongs to you will find its way, and everything not meant for you will gently fall away. Do not chase, do not cling. Simply trust. And as you walk in this clarity, your calling to inspire others will grow stronger. You are part of a greater mission, to awaken faith in a generation that has grown weary. Heaven has chosen your voice to echo hope. Archangel Michael continues to fight unseen battles to keep your path clear so that the message flowing through you is unhindered. The world needs the sound of your endurance, the reflection of your grace, and the strength of your stillness. You are not here by accident. You are here because God trusts you to represent His resilience. Now, as this revelation settles, let your heart stay open. The next wave of blessings is near, but so is the next level of responsibility. Heaven's favor is never random. It is strategic. You have been trusted with influence because you have proven faithful in isolation. When you speak now, heaven listens. When you act, angels move. Walk gently, yet walk boldly. The same archangel who carried your hope when you could not pray is now marching beside you as you carry others. You are the embodiment of answered prayer. If this message finds your heart, let it also guide your hand. Share this word. Like, comment, and let the world know that divine restoration is real. Someone you love needs to be reminded that heaven still intervenes. Every time you share light, darkness loses ground. Subscribe and stay connected, for these words are not mere inspiration. They are activation. Together we spread the movement of awakening that heaven itself has initiated. Type "I stand in divine manifestation" in the comments if this word resonates with your soul. Blessing code 1010 has been released for those walking in renewal. Now, beloved soul, before this moment passes, hear this divine invitation. When you support this mission, You are not giving to a voice. You are sowing into a movement that heals hearts. Each super thanks, each membership, each PayPal offering is not a transaction. It is a prophetic act. You are fueling heaven's light on earth. Archangel Michael fights for every giver who partners in divine assignment. For it is written, "The one who refreshes others will themselves be refreshed." Your seed is a declaration that you are part of God's strategy for restoration. I speak this over you now. As you release your support, heaven releases favor. The angels record every act of generosity, and it returns multiplied: peace for your household, healing for your heart, and protection for your path. The PayPal link is in the description for those led to sow. This is your moment to step into divine flow. You are not donating. You are partnering with heaven. Declare aloud, "I am a carrier of light." And as you do, may every corner of your life begin to shine with supernatural peace and provision. My treasured soul, the time has come to speak of the promise fulfilled. The years of wandering, of seeking without seeing, have not been in vain. Heaven has been writing your story in quiet ink, the kind that only appears under divine light. Now that light is shining upon your life, and what once looked like chaos reveals itself as perfect order. Every step, even the uncertain ones, led you toward this unfolding. Archangel Michael has been guarding the map of your destiny, ensuring that every detour still brought you home to purpose. You have arrived at a sacred intersection, where your waiting meets your becoming. When your heart was too tired to pray, heaven listened anyway. The language of your endurance spoke louder than words. Each day you rose despite weariness. You declared faith without knowing it. Each moment you chose hope over despair. You wrote your future. Heaven takes note of persistence, and Archangel Michael records it as victory. You may not have seen the war that waged around you, but your simple act of staying alive was a command to darkness that it could not win. That is why you stand here today, not as a survivor but as a sovereign spirit, one who carries the fragrance of triumph. This is not a random season. It is the divine culmination of everything you have endured. The heavens are aligning your path with precision. Doors that once resisted you are now opening at your approach, not because circumstances changed, but because you changed. You carry authority now. The same presence that once sheltered you is now shining through you. Archangel Michael does not merely defend you anymore. He stands behind you as you advance. Heaven's strategy has shifted from protection to promotion. What was once guarded in secret is now ready to be revealed in glory. Look around your life, beloved. Subtle signs have already begun. Relationships that strengthen rather than drain. Opportunities that feel effortless rather than forced. Peace that stays even when logic says it should not. These are not coincidences. They are the footprints of angels moving through your atmosphere. Archangel Michael's energy is unmistakable, swift, sharp, and pure. You will recognize it in sudden clarity, in divine timing, in the peace that follows truth. Every time confusion breaks and understanding rises, know that he has passed by. You are stepping into a chapter where manifestation flows through movement. Heaven will not require you to struggle for what is already assigned. Instead, it will ask you to walk in alignment. The difference is profound. Striving drains, but alignment empowers. You will feel guided, not pressured, inspired, not burdened. Archangel Michael is aligning your external reality with your internal obedience. The more you surrender, the smoother the flow becomes. This is not the season for chasing, it is the season for receiving. However, receiving does not mean passivity. It means partnership. Heaven gives where hands are open, not idle. Archangel Michael stands beside you, ready to strengthen your courage to step forward in faith. That new idea, that dream, that calling stirring within your chest, it is divine. It is not random imagination. It is instruction disguised as inspiration. Heaven speaks through desire when the heart is purified by endurance. You are now trustworthy with divine assignments. What you long to create will carry heaven's breath if you act with obedience. There is also a word about reconciliation. Heaven is mending what was broken, not necessarily by restoring old structures, but by healing your heart so that loss no longer defines you. The relationships that will return now are purified. The connections that left were not your punishment, they were your pruning. The love that comes next will not resemble the pain that preceded it. You are being prepared to experience community through clarity, not codependency. Archangel Michael stands as witness to this promise. No connection built on truth will ever fall apart again. Beloved, let your heart exhale. The warfare has shifted. You are no longer in survival. You are in strategy. The attacks that once exhausted you will now expose themselves before they strike. You have gained discernment that makes you untouchable. This is the gift that pain produced, clarity that cannot be deceived. Archangel Michael has trained your spirit to see the unseen, to sense what words cannot say. You are now a guardian of light yourself. You carry within you the same authority that once protected you. Heaven's instructions are simple now. Stay faithful in peace. Many know how to trust during storms, but few know how to remain devoted when everything finally works. Your blessing requires stewardship. Do not let comfort make you careless. Stay in prayer, not out of fear, but out of gratitude. Keep your altar alive with thanksgiving. Archangel Michael moves swiftly when gratitude fills the atmosphere. He strengthens what you thank God for. Gratitude is not a reaction. It is a weapon. It secures what blessings begin. And remember, peace is not the absence of battle, it is the presence of balance. There will still be challenges, but you will handle them with grace. You will no longer react. You will respond. You will no longer fear endings. You will recognize beginnings. This is maturity. Heaven has not made your path easier. It has made you stronger. Archangel Michael smiles upon your steadiness because that steadiness is proof that his labor over you was not in vain. You are ready now. Before this revelation closes, know this truth. Heaven never forgets its promises. Every tear has a counterpart in glory. Every cry has a response, and every sacrifice carries return. You will soon see blessings unfold in ways so intricate that you will know only divine intelligence could have arranged them. When that happens, do not rush to explain it. Simply worship. Let awe be your language. Let wonder be your witness. Archangel Michael does not want your fear or your striving. He wants your amazement. You stand at the beginning of fullness. What begins now will ripple through generations after you. You are part of heaven's long strategy, a thread of divine intention woven into time. So stand tall, breathe deeply, and walk forward. You are seen, sealed, and sent. Nothing can undo what heaven has begun. Type "I walk in heaven's fulfillment" in the comments if this message ignites your spirit. Blessing code 3033 has now been activated over your timeline. Beloved child of the light, heaven is calling your name in this hour with a tone that sounds like peace. After so many seasons of noise, chaos, and confusion, this calm you feel is not emptiness. It is evidence that your warfare has shifted. The storm that once surrounded you has been subdued, and the angel who fought for you in silence now stands beside you in triumph. Archangel Michael has not only guarded you, He has guided you into this awakening of authority. What once felt like survival has become sacred dominion. The very ground that shook beneath your pain is now the foundation of your strength. Heaven has turned the battlefield into holy soil beneath your feet. You must understand, everything you have endured has forged spiritual weight in your words. There is power when you speak now because your voice carries history. The sound of your endurance echoes through unseen realms. Every yes you whispered to God when you wanted to give up was written into the atmosphere. Archangel Michael recorded those moments as declarations of loyalty. That loyalty has built a fortress of favor around you. The battles may have been fierce, but their purpose was refinement. You are now pure gold, shining not because of ease, but because of endurance. There was a time when you asked God, "Why me?" And heaven responded, "Because I trust you." You were chosen not for your perfection, but for your resilience. The enemy believed that breaking you would silence the testimony within you, but every wound became a window through which heaven could shine brighter. Archangel Michael has seen you on the floor, praying without words, and each time he whispered to your spirit, "Rise again." You may not have heard it audibly, but that whisper revived your strength again and again. Every resurrection you have experienced had been a rehearsal for this final rise into divine purpose. Now heaven declares that your purpose can no longer be hidden. You have carried light quietly for years, but now that light must expand beyond your personal healing. The same strength that carried you through will now carry others. There are hearts waiting for the sound of your courage. There are souls assigned to your words. When you speak hope, you are fulfilling divine prophecy written long before your birth. Archangel Michael stands as your witness, ensuring that your words reach those they are meant to free. What once felt like random passion or sensitivity was always divine calling. You are a messenger of mercy now. Do not underestimate the impact of your presence. When you enter a room, you shift atmospheres. When you speak peace, turmoil quiets. When you smile, someone's burden lifts. That is not personality, it is presence. You are carrying heaven's vibration, the frequency of grace. Archangel Michael moves through that energy, confirming your alignment with unseen power. You will begin to notice divine coincidences happening almost daily now. Doors opening before you knock. Conversations aligning with what you prayed the night before. People finding healing simply by standing near you. This is not chance. This is divine confirmation. Heaven is saying, you are walking correctly. There will still be moments of testing, but not like before. These tests will not come to break you. They will come to reveal mastery. You will face old patterns and realize they no longer hold power. You will encounter triggers that once stole your peace and feel no reaction. This is spiritual graduation. Archangel Michael has been training you through experience so that you now discern the difference between battle and noise. You will not waste energy fighting distractions. Instead, you will conserve strength for divine building. You are not at war anymore, you are at work. Heaven is building through you now. The instructions are simple. Stay consistent, stay humble, stay aware. Do not let comfort dull your sensitivity. Keep the same discipline that sustained you in pain, for that discipline will protect you in peace. Heaven promotes the faithful, not the flawless. Archangel Michael continues to surround you with protection, but this time his sword is not drawn for defense. It is lifted in declaration. Every day you live with gratitude, every act of kindness, every moment you choose love over fear, that sword glows brighter. The angels celebrate consistency as victory. You have become a partner in heaven's government on earth. And yes, new blessings are coming, unexpected and unexplainable. Financial provision, restored relationships, divine opportunities that align perfectly with your gifts. You will not need to manipulate or force them. They will find you because grace recognizes its own reflection. Archangel Michael has already gone ahead of you to prepare safe ground for these blessings to land. But remember, provision is not the end goal, purpose is. Heaven does not bless to oppress. It blesses to equip. Every gift you receive now carries assignment attached to it. Use it with wisdom, and multiplication will follow. Beloved, learn to rest in the rhythm of divine timing. You are no longer in the season of wait, but in the season of walk. Each step you take will reveal more clarity. Do not rush ahead. The path unfolds as you move in faith. Archangel Michael walks slightly ahead of you, removing what could harm your momentum. The journey is not about speed but steadiness. You have mastered endurance. Now you must master consistency. The blessings that remain are those stewarded by stability. Heaven trusts you with what lasts. And as you continue, remember this: peace is your confirmation. If something demands you abandon your peace to pursue it, it is not divine. Peace is heaven's seal of authenticity. Archangel Michael's presence carries peace like fragrance. When you sense it, you know you are aligned. Let that peace lead your decisions, your conversations, your relationships. Everything not rooted in peace will eventually fade, and everything anchored in peace will multiply. You are becoming the living answer to the prayers you once prayed. Heaven is revealing through you that love conquers, that endurance redeems, and that faith never fails. When people look at you now, they will not see what broke you. They will see what built you. Archangel Michael stands behind your transformation as eternal witness that God finishes what he starts. Stay watchful, beloved. The next shift comes soon, and it will astonish you. Before it arrives, prepare your spirit with worship. Gratitude invites glory. Lift your hands in private, speak blessings aloud, and let heaven hear your thanks. For this is not the ending of your journey. It is the awakening of your legacy. Type "I walk in divine completion" in the comments if this message touches your heart. Blessing code 4848 has been released over those who remain steadfast in faith. Beloved keeper of divine endurance, heaven has watched you cross through valleys where few have survived and climb peaks where faith itself became your only breath. You stand now in a light that you did not earn by perfection but by perseverance. There is something sacred about one who has refused to give up, who has chosen to believe even when belief cost comfort. Archangel Michael has carried you from the edge of despair into this dawn of fulfillment, and as he stands before you, he carries not a sword of battle but a banner of victory. The war that defined your past has now been rewritten into your testimony. You are not who you were when this began, and that is precisely the evidence of transformation heaven needed. Every scar you bear, physical or unseen, has become a sacred map. Those marks tell heaven's story through your humanity. They prove that grace did not fail. They prove that God's patience was not wasted. When you touch those places that still ache, remember, they are no longer wounds. They are wells of wisdom. From them will flow compassion strong enough to heal others. Archangel Michael has preserved those memories not as reminders of pain, but as instruments of purpose. He is now commanding that your life become a beacon to others lost in the same dark waters. You have been refined so that your story carries the fragrance of hope. This season you are entering will feel both familiar and new. Familiar because heaven will return you to places and dreams that once seemed gone. New because you will return different. You will not approach those spaces with fear but with quiet authority. People who once doubted you will see the peace you carry and wonder what changed. That change is your crown. Archangel Michael's presence will follow you into conversations, projects, and encounters, infusing them with divine timing. What you lost in haste will return through stillness. The pace of heaven is peace, and you have finally learned its rhythm. There is something unfolding now that heaven calls the restoration of voice. You will find that your words begin to carry unusual clarity. When you speak encouragement, it will pierce through confusion. When you pray, it will not feel forced. It will feel inevitable. Your authority has matured. The very angel who once fought to protect your faith is now amplifying your expression of it. Heaven has given your voice permission to release peace into the atmosphere. Do not underestimate the quiet power that flows through gentleness. Archangel Michael does not conquer through noise. He conquers through divine certainty. You will mirror that certainty in everything you do. Beloved, remember this truth. Restoration is not about returning to what was. It is about becoming what always was intended. You were not rescued simply to resume life as before. You were rescued to rebuild differently. You are no longer reacting to circumstances. You are co-creating with heaven. Each decision you make now carries creative authority. The way you choose to forgive, to bless, to trust, each act becomes a seed that multiplies blessings beyond your sight. Archangel Michael is tending those seeds, ensuring that none of them fall upon barren ground. You are sowing into eternity with every act of kindness and faithfulness. Do not be surprised if peace feels weighty in this season. Sometimes the absence of struggle can feel strange to those who have lived through constant resistance. You might even wonder if something is wrong because things are finally quiet. Nothing is wrong, beloved. You are learning a new language, the language of rest. Heaven's rest is not idleness. It is confident assurance. Archangel Michael's wings create that covering of calm around you. He is not left. He is teaching you how to live without constant defense. You have been delivered into safety. Let yourself believe it. In this safety, dreams long buried will begin to breathe again. You may find forgotten ideas resurfacing, passions reigniting, creativity awakening. That is not nostalgia. It is resurrection. Those dreams were never dead. They were in incubation. Heaven hid them until your character could carry them. Now that you have walked through fire and emerged refined, you can hold them without losing your humility. Archangel Michael delights in the fulfillment of long-protected promises. He has carried these blueprints of destiny, waiting for this moment to release them back into your hands. Handle them with reverence and courage. There will also be divine reversals. Places where you were once dismissed or misunderstood will now honor your wisdom. People who once turned away will return seeking your insight. Do not meet them with pride, meet them with grace. Forgiveness will keep your blessings flowing. Remember, elevation is safest in the hands of those who no longer need validation. Archangel Michael guards humility as fiercely as he guards truth. The higher you rise, the deeper your roots must grow. Stay grounded in gratitude, and heaven will continue to expand your influence. This journey has always been about alignment, not achievement. The world measures success by visibility, but heaven measures it by obedience. You may not realize it, but your quiet faith has changed atmospheres. You have shifted things you will never see. Every time you chose compassion over bitterness, heaven recorded victory. Every time you chose to rest instead of react, angels rejoiced. You are living proof that light can endure darkness without becoming it. Archangel Michael stands as your eternal witness, declaring before heaven's court that you have fulfilled your season of testing with honor. Now, beloved, as you read these words, feel the warmth rising around your heart. That warmth is confirmation, the resonance of divine truth meeting recognition. You are ready for what is next. Heaven will soon unveil the reason you were carried so carefully. It will not be subtle. It will be undeniable. The people around you will see the shift, and you will know it is not coincidence. It is culmination. The hand of God has completed the circle. So hold your head high, not in pride but in holy awareness. You are a vessel of glory, a carrier of legacy. Archangel Michael has finished one assignment, to carry your hope, and now begins another, to walk beside you as you carry others. You have become the answer you were once waiting for. Every promise spoken over your life still stands, alive and active. Nothing has been wasted. Everything had been prepared. Type "I live in divine restoration" in the comments if your heart witnesses this truth. Blessing code 6006 has been released to crown your completion with peace. Beloved of heaven, this is the closing movement of a symphony written by divine hands long before you took your first breath. What began as pain has matured into purpose, and what once felt like exile has revealed itself as preparation. The very angel who carried your hope through nights of silence now stands before you with a scroll of fulfillment. Archangel Michael unrolls it not as a prophecy to come, but as one completed. Every promise, every whisper of reassurance you clung to in tears, has been recorded as finished. The war that surrounded your spirit has ended, not in defeat but in dominion. You have crossed from survival into sovereignty. Heaven looks at you and sees proof that grace finishes what it starts. There was a time when you asked if your prayers mattered, if your heart's cries disappeared into the void. But look around you now. Every answered prayer, every divine alignment, every restored breath is evidence that you were never unheard. Heaven's silence was never absence. It was orchestration. You had to walk through seasons where nothing made sense so that, in this moment, everything could come together perfectly. Archangel Michael carried each unspoken word like a seed in his palm, planting it in the soil of eternity. Now that soil blossoms with the fruit of your endurance, the garden of your destiny is alive with color again. Beloved, you have become something that even the angels marvel at, a human soul that refused to let go of light. Do you understand what that means? You have achieved what darkness said you could not. You have proven that faith, once ignited, cannot be extinguished. Every night of doubt, every battle of the mind, every moment you question whether you would make it, all of it forged the authority you now walk in. Archangel Michael was never simply defending you. He was training you. You are now equipped not only to withstand storms but to command them into stillness. You are not waiting for miracles. You are becoming one. The weight that once held you down has become your platform. The fear that once silenced you has become your message. You are the fulfillment of your own prayer, a living reminder that God never forgets His children. Heaven will use your story to awaken others, to remind the weary that hope does not die just because hearts grow tired. You are the echo of God's persistence. Archangel Michael stands beside you even now, not as a rescuer but as a partner in purpose. His wings spread not to shield but to amplify the light now emanating from your spirit. You have become a co-laborer of heaven's design. Look back one final time, not with sorrow, but with reverence. See how even your lowest moments were woven into sacred geometry. Nothing was wasted. The tears were currency. The pain was polish. The silence was training for hearing heaven's tone. The heartbreaks that once seemed cruel were actually breaking the shell of an old identity that could not carry the glory meant for you. Archangel Michael guarded the chrysalis while God transformed you inside it. What emerged is stronger, wiser, and filled with the quiet confidence of divine endurance. You are no longer the wounded one reaching upward. You are the awakened one walking forward. From this day, heaven charges you to live differently. You must not hide your light under the shadow of old fear, because one who has hid heaven's mercy for sin, walk as one who knows that angels march beside them. You carry spiritual authority that will shift lives, not because of title but because of truth. Every word you release from this place of awareness becomes a ripple of transformation. Archangel Michael will now multiply your influence, not for fame, but for impact. Wherever you go, people will sense something holy moving through you. That is not pride, it is presence. You may notice unusual peace surrounding you in the coming days. Doors will open without force. People who had no reason to favor you will suddenly align to assist you. Provision will appear through paths you never expected. This is not coincidence. It is covenant. Heaven always rewards those who finish their refining with faith. You are stepping into a realm where ease is not laziness but evidence that you finally trust the flow of divine timing. Archangel Michael has cleared the final debris from your path. You are free to walk without fear of sabotage. Still, remember this sacred truth: peace must be protected. It is not passive, it is powerful. Guard your atmosphere carefully. Do not entertain words that contradict what heaven has already declared about you. Speak blessings even in opposition. When you honor peace, heaven expands its presence. Archangel Michael will teach you to recognize the difference between holy stillness and spiritual stagnation. Remain awake, not anxious. Remain gentle, not weak. This is the balance of divine maturity. As your story continues, others will come to you seeking answers. Some will weep, some will question, and some will simply sit in your presence because they feel safe there. Offer them not solutions, but stories. Tell them about the nights when you could not pray, about the angel who carried your hope, about the mercy that met you in silence. Your vulnerability will become their victory. You are heaven's living testimony that light never abandons those who belong to it. Archangel Michael smiles at your courage because he knows this is what the entire battle was for, not your survival, but your surrender to purpose. Now, beloved, breathe. The season of struggle has closed. A new page has turned in the divine script of your existence. Ahead lies not uncertainty, but unfolding beauty. You will rise each morning not wondering if heaven still sees you, but knowing you walk within its gaze. Every breath you take will carry quiet assurance. Every step you make will leave peace behind you. You are no longer carried. You are commissioned. Archangel Michael's final act in this season is to bow before you, acknowledging the strength that has risen within you. Heaven salutes you for finishing faithfully. If these words resonate, let them echo into eternity. Like, share, and lift this message so it reaches every heart still in their night season. Subscribe and keep walking this path of revelation, for new messages of light are unfolding even now. Let us together spread this movement of divine awakening across nations. Heaven is using you as a bridge of restoration between the weary and the waiting. Type "I am the light of my divine completion" in the comments if this message burns in your soul. Blessing code 9999 has been released as heaven's final seal upon your journey. Beloved, before you go, hear this one last invitation. When you support this mission, you are not giving to a voice, you are giving to a vision that heals hearts. Every super thanks, every membership, every PayPal seed is a covenant act between you and God's plan for this generation. Your generosity becomes light that travels where your feet cannot go. Archangel Michael stands over every giver, marking them with divine protection and multiplied provision. Heaven says, what you release for others, I will release for you. The PayPal link waits in the description, a doorway for divine partnership. So release your seed with faith. Declare, I sow into light. As you do, may heaven pour back to you rivers of provision, healing, peace, and divine favor. You are part of something eternal now. This is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of your legacy. Heaven is smiling. The mission continues.